tell from my very, very dirty, messy calendar, it is Spooktober. I mean, it's October 2nd, so it doesn't really like mean anything like super crazy to me, other than the fact that it's October, and yeah. But in the spirit of Halloween and all things spooky, and if you know me, I really just like haunted things, ghost things. Excuse me. You know that this is like pretty exciting for me. So what I thought we would do in this video is look at specific haunted places. I'm thinking either in Arizona or in Tucson, and we can talk about whether or not I have been there, stayed there, had anything happen to me there, and we can talk about it. So yeah, there we go. This video is sponsored by nobody, so there we go. Alright, so I have my laptop here, so we're gonna check it out. Haunted places in Arizona, because I feel like Tucson is so small. Okay. Alright, so place number 1 is, well, okay, let's just actually, let's do this. Okay, better. Awesome sauce. Okay, sorry. The first place is, dun, 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 it's the Birdcage Theater. So, that is in, from what it says, Tombstone. So I don't really know where that is in relation to a map or where I'm at, but it's in Tombstone. So there's that. I have been to the Birdcage Theater. I went probably like 3 years ago, but you have to pay to get in to like see it because it is haunted, and they like made it not into an attraction, but like, you know, into a haunted place, and they're gonna make money off of it. So I was with like my family. My aunt had flown in from Hawaii, and we were taking her to all these like Arizona places, and that was where we took her. We took her to Tombstone. Okay, the second place. Ooh, okay. The second place is the Slaughterhouse, and so that is in Tucson. Is actually like on my drive home. It's in Tucson, and I have not personally been there. It's now an attraction for you know, haunted houses and stuff like that. It is also like haunted for real, from what I have heard. What I've heard on Ghost Hunters, it is actually haunted. So, and it's like some hardcore haunted stuff. It kind of freaks me out because it's like, okay, I'm fine. No, I'm not fine with it, but like the idea of a place being haunted, like, yeah, I'll go check it out. I want to see it. But the idea of like a demon actually scares me to death. So, yeah, that's kind of what they say is in there, and that kind of freaks me out. And it used to be an old meat factory, like an old slaughterhouse. So, yeah. Hotel Congress, I've heard it's haunted. It's just really old. That's what's going on with Hotel Congress. It's super old, and I think the only like real way you could tell if it's haunted or not is if you stay there overnight. The Orpheum Theater in Phoenix. Oh, okay. So I'm like looking at the picture. So I've been to the Orpheum Theater. I went with my sister and my dad, and it was it was for a Miranda Sings show. I was, how old was I? I was 16. Yeah, I was 16 years old. My sister was 13. My sister was obsessed with Colleen and Miranda Sings, and so when she came to Phoenix, she told me, we gotta go. And my dad was like, no, no, you know, we can't. The tickets are too expensive, X, Y, and Z. And so we're like, okay. And then last minute, he like told my sister, he was like, I got my Sings tickets. So that's what we saw. It didn't feel haunted, but I'm trying to remember. Yeah, when I think back, it's like very old. It's an old theater. I mean, old theaters have to be haunted, so yeah. The Mission San Javier. So that I have been to multiple times. Sorry. I've been there multiple times. It's just this really old mission in Tucson. Super old, and it's like a staple to our town. But I can definitely see how it's haunted. It's like not in a bad way that there's anything like horrible there, but like if I were there at night by myself, I would be a little scared. We'll hear about it. It's the Copper Queen Hotel. And that is in Bisbee. So it's like pretty far down there. Like it's literally like the border and then the hotel. But Bisbee is pretty far south. So, this place is like super haunted. It's had like constant, like a whole bunch of reports, people leaving in the middle of the night because how haunted it is. Okay. So it says there are reportedly 3 resident ghosts in the Copper Queen Hotel. One of the ghostly residents is an older gentleman who has long hair and a beard. He's usually seen wearing a top hat and a black cape. Guests and staff have claimed smelling the aroma of cigar either before or after seeing him. He mostly appears in the doorway and sometimes as a shadow in the rooms, which are located on the 4th floor. Okay. Old guy. I mean, not saying that I wouldn't be freaked out if there was an old man with a beard in my room, but he sounds like an old man. The second ghost, and perhaps the most famous, is that of a woman in her 30s by the name of Julia Lowell. It is said that she is a prostitute and she used a hotel for her and her clients. She fell madly in love with her clients and she told him that he is no longer, what? Ugh. This doesn't make sense. She fell madly in love with one of her clients, and when she told him this, he no longer wanted to see her. She took her own life at the hotel. So guests and staff at the hotel say that they feel her presence on the 2nd and 3rd floors of the west side of the building. Male staff and guests have reported hearing a female voice whispering in their ear. Others have reported seeing her dancing provocatively at the foot of the stairs. She likes to play with men's feet. As a tribute to her, one of the rooms in the hotel is named the Julia Lowell room. Okay, so interesting. If I saw a woman dancing provocatively at the end of the stairs, I don't know why, that kind of freaks me out a little bit more, because I feel like she wouldn't be dressed like how we're dressed. So yeah, that would freak me out. Especially because she had such a dark end to her life. I don't know, that sounds more creepy than the guy with the beard. The third ghost is also the youngest, and it's the ghost of a little boy. It is reported that he drowned in the San Pedro River. His residence in the hotel is explained through his relatives or parents who once worked at the hotel. Guests have reported objects being moved by the little ghost in their room. Others have reported hearing footsteps in the halls and giggling. The boy's ghost has never been seen, only heard. Okay. Things moving or someone touching me or anything like that is actually really scary for me. If I were sitting on my bed and something flew at me, I would pee my pants. I would. Okay. So I figured also I would tell you, I guess, some ghostly experiences that I have had. So I had a friend in high school, and she had a very old house. Oh, she's in college now. We're both in college. But her house is super, super old. And I was picking her up. We were doing something, and I went into her house. She told me to come inside. And so I did. I walked inside, and she has a very old house. So I went to pick her up, and like when I say old, like old, like old to some kind of old. And it just had a weird vibe. I've been in very few instances where I've felt that, and it felt weird. And, you know, I was just kind of like, whatever, I'm picking her up. And it was later. And so I spent some time at her house talking. She was telling me about her, you know, weird experiences in the house. And, you know, I was listening. And so I walked past this room in her house and just felt like, ugh, like it just felt bad. That's the only way I can describe it. I was like, it feels bad in here. And she was like, oh, do you want to go in here? Didn't really tell me what's going on. And I said, no. It gives me a weird vibe. And she was like, oh, that goes down to our basement. Like, yeah. And so and she was like, do you want to go down there? I said, no. I said, I do not want to go down there, and I gotta go. So I spent some time, you know, talking with her before I left, and the neighborhood, just all the streets where her house is dark. It's really dark. And so I got in my car, and you know, before I get in my car, I always check my back seat. I always check around my car to make sure everything's safe. And I hopped in my car and I started driving. Granted, it's dark, like I have my lights on and everything, but it's dark, and I just feel, once I start driving, like two eyes on the back of my neck. And like, it was so bizarre. Like all of my, like the hair on my neck, like I got goosebumps. My hair stood up on my neck, and I was so scared. Like I was terrified. I didn't say anything. I was so scared to look in my rear view mirror because I was like, for sure, you know, gonna believe that there was a man like sitting in my back seat. And it's weird because every time I think about this, I can picture like what the man would look like. Like it's weird. Like I didn't turn around, I didn't see anything. But if there were, like I could picture it almost exactly, and it kind of freaks me out because I'm afraid to see who lived in her house before. So literally sped all the way home, and like once I got out of my car, it was fine. But it was like someone was behind me and like just sitting in my back seat, staring at my neck. So that's one experience. My second was when I was in Alcatraz. I went on vacation with my family, and we had the little headset gear for our tour. And so we got into the cell block area, and we got led to the solitary confinement. And we had been with a bigger group, I guess. It wasn't giant, but like, you know, it was big enough. And everyone was about a couple seconds ahead of us. So we got to the solitary confinement room, and they said, you know, you can pause it, you can go inside, check it out. And so I did that, and I paused it, and I'm not even kidding, I was standing in the middle solitary room, and it felt like the whole room started to spin, and it just felt bad in there. And so I hopped out. Like I jumped out of that room. I did not want to be there anymore, and it was gross. Like it was a gross feeling. And so, you know, I was with my family, and so we were all kind of sticking together. And when my dad, like if we're walking somewhere, sometimes he'll like kind of push us along and he'll touch our back. And so I was waiting for my family, and I could see a couple of my family members in front of me. I thought my dad kind of pushed me along and have me start walking. So I was like, okay. So I started walking, and I turned around, and no one was behind me. And I freaked out, I bolted out of that hallway into the next kind of area. And there was my dad. He was taking pictures. And so I'm not entirely sure what happened there, but that's my experience, I guess, of my hauntings, I guess. They were kind of freaky. They did freak me out. But yeah, I love hearing about this kind of thing. So yeah, okay. Well, that's what's going on. If you would like, please comment below if you have had any spooky experiences, any haunted houses, anything like that. Comment that below. If you like these kinds of videos, especially during the month of October, please give this video a big thumbs up and click the notification bell so you can hear every time I make a new video. And yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe. I will appreciate it greatly if you do that. So yeah, alright, thanks.